Working remotely can be a challenge, especially for teams that are new to it. How do you deal with your work environment being the same as home while staying productive? At a time when teams must come together more than ever to solve big challenges, Trello's here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, has been powering remote teams globally for almost a decade. Trello keeps everyone on the same page, helping teams communicate, focus, and connect. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Bender, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits the funny hits and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to a mini episode of Dumb People Town. Population you.
Population Roy. Population 2 first names, John Roy.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Good to be back. Well, I guess technically I'm back because I did county.
You did Scarborough County a while ago, and you were wonderful.
Okay.
And now
As
you're back
always.
on because not only do we love you, but you and Daniel Van Kirk are going to be doing some live shows around the country. That we
First
wanna let
one
people
on
know.
my anniversary. Thank
That's
you
why.
very
You're
much.
welcome.
In honor of
In
anniversary.
in honor of my anniversary, you'll be at the Siren Theater in Portland, Oregon on June 24th.
8 p.m. show. You do not want to miss two of our favorite stand-ups in one room together. That's Daniel Van Kirk and John Roy.
Evenings with Daniel Van Kirk and
Yeah.
John Roy.
I love that you guys are teaming
and
up. to do
Jonathan
so.
Roy. He kind of went with the full name.
Yeah,
You might have to be
I'm not a
Jonathan.
Jonathan. I'm
You're
a
not
John. I am the full name. It just happens to be 7 letters and 2 syllables.
Johnny Roy. Johnny Roy is a drink that you get that's just like
It's just the syrup of like 9 different drinks.
It's alcohol and a little bit of
Your name
Windex.
is super efficient. One vowel used twice.
John Roy.
Yeah.
John Roy.
But
Yeah,
in
it's-
different
although-
ways.
Yeah.
The accent makes it brutal in California. John, the Chicago people go Chad. Like whenever I say John, they go Chad.
Yeah.
Like it did happen yesterday.
It's
like,
literally like
I
a,
don't.
it's a Yanny Laurel. song.
Yeah, like,
Are you
what?
saying Yanny?
No.
Chad?
No, he's saying Jan. Janny.
Jan.
Jan.
Janny. Are you saying Laurel?
No. You got a show in Portland on the 24th, and then next month in July, on July
15th.
in Denver at the Bug Theater.
Bug Theater in
which
Denver.
is a great theater
Oh my
to
God,
see shows.
we did a little. I think that's where they used to do the Growlix.
Yeah, that's
for a
exactly
while.
that,
Hot
yeah.
damn, that's a great theater.
cool
and you guys
area.
will do great.
Fill it with our folks who love these guys.
Townies. Well, listen, we believe that the world's getting dumber. It's getting dumber in Denver. It's getting dumber in Portland. It's getting dumber everywhere, John. How do we combat that? Through comedy, through getting stories sent to us and then breaking them and trying to understand.
So we have one story that was sent to us for today's show.
You want to do it?
Let's do it.
Okay,
No,
here we
I
go.
don't want to do it.
I
Well,
want to do
that's
it.
a show, guys.
All right, guys, we got to get back to work. Just kidding.
Sent in by Agnes Blankenstein.
That's a great. I got nothing
That
for that
is
except
Don
that's-
Blankenship.
Yeah.
Stin. Is that Steen or Stein?
Either or.
Either or.
It can be, right?
Either or.
It's whatever they tell you.
And there's some friends
You'll
of mine.
always get it wrong.
You'll always get it wrong. There are friends of mine that I
Always.
call them like.
Joe Epstein. It's like, no,
Nope,
it's
it's Joe
Epstein.
Epstein.
And there's no rhyme or reason to the order of the vowels.
No.
They can choose and go a different way.
It's however your family has been called for all those years.
It's a very democratic last name.
It's honestly whoever fucked it up first. Like if someone fucked it up years ago and started calling you Steen, then that's who you are. If someone screwed
they
up and
just
called
went
you
along
Stein,
with it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? The boss, he's nice to me. I don't want to keep
Now,
my head down. I'm
or
Steen
you know
now.
those people who like if you start to correct them, you know it's going to be like a whole thing that you're just like whatever. I mean, there was the story when we did Entourage, and Mary J. Blige came with her whole entourage to do the show, and we were working with her for a few days. She could not have been nicer or cooler. She was so sweet. My character was Jeff, and Jay was Jim. Mine was Jim, and yours was.
No, yours was.
Mine was Jeff, and yours
mine
was Jim. Whatever. So at the very end, Jay goes up to Mary and says,
I was just like, I didn't want to bother you throughout the production, but it was really an honor. We're such big fans of your music, and this was a beautiful week. And she looked at me and she said, thanks, Jeff. Now, I at that moment could have double corrected her and said, we're not playing ourselves like you're playing yourself.
Right.
We're not real agents. This is a set.
Right.
I simply said, it's Jim. Because I thought that would be easier.
Jason looked Mary J. Blige in the eye and said, it's Jim. So, you know how, like, that's it. So
I was like, I know.
So
let me
this
get
could
you
be
half of the way.
Steen or Stein. She's just, their family's done correcting it.
Well, the handle is almost as great. At Blankers 10.
Blankers 10.
First 9 were taken, and they were like,
Blankenstein.
we keep going till I get this.
Blankenstein.
An angry man stored up his own feces.
For what? The winter?
Is that why?
For what?
It's got to be why he's angry, right? I mean, like, why that sentence?
Why did I
flipped?
give myself this challenge?
This is like that's how
the feces came first, and then the anger led from that.
That's what powers the flux capacitor in Back to the Future 5.
Yeah, where you're going, we don't need toilets. An angry man stored up his own
Let's see
feces
what that garbage man's got in store for him this weekend.
Just dump it in.
in a container. Also, imagine the idea of the conversation at Lowe's. Be like, well, what size do you need? What are you using it for? Just need a container, man.
10 days?
They didn't say. Before shoving it through a friend's letterbox in a bitter dispute.
The feces or the container of the feces? Like, did he?
I'm sure he opened it up and dumped it out.
No.
Joffrey?
No.
What?
No.
I thought that was a
Now
made
you
up.
just ruined Game of Thrones.
No, that's.
But it's Geof though. It's Jeffrey.
Yeah.
He's doing a Stein thing with Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Joffrey.
Holroyd Doveton. That's hyphenated. Holroyd Doveton.
That is the most regal English name for the most.
I'm sorry,
but it's like
Dave.
if you see an apartment in L.A. and the apartment has the name like Covington Arms, you know that's a shithole.
Oh,
like that's
worst.
just a horrible,
Yes.
like a prostitute's like wouldn't even sleep there.
Badlington Downs.
Yeah, the new ones are all the Dylan, the Huxley,
The Orsini.
Jason's extent of knowledge for prostitutes are that they'll spend the night.
Yeah.
After they're done with their business, I think I'm gonna stay here. I think I'll just go to sleep.
They don't just hang out and sleep.
Every type of mushroom is what these things are called. The portobello.
Where are we? The Covington Arms. I'm going to stay.
I think I'll stay then. I think I'll stay.
The porcini.
Joffrey Holroyd Doveton used a, quote, homemade pump to spray the excrement into Donald Wick's home as a disgusting act of revenge.
Homemade pump.
This dude made a pump, stored up his poop, went to his arch rival's house, opened up the letterbox,
and just started pumping it in.
shooting it through the door into
They probably
this guy's
yelled,
house.
"You've got mail, bitch," as he was doing
I
it.
mean, and on some level, you have to say, yay, science.
What do you buy to make the pump?
I have
if
no
I said
idea.
make a pump, like what would you do?
You need some sort of air compression, and you need a hose.
So like a bag, just a bag you can.
Either a bag or something like an accordion-style
accordion
pumper.
Plastic thing, yeah.
Bellows from an old-timey fireplace, and then
a lot of strength.
a tube for the poo. Like how do
You
you?
talking about a poo tube? Is it your standard poo tube at Lowe's? The guy, what do you need for it?
Well, here's what I got to do. I got a project this weekend. There's this guy, Donald Wick. That's not important. What's important is I got to get my poo into this guy's like, I just got to get
from here to here.
I got a lot of poo. Don't worry how I got it. I've been storing it up.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you tell me where like paint stirrers are?
Yeah, it's over in aisle 6.
Okay.
Did your dad have a fireplace? Remember those old
what
those
things?
bellow accordion thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got those.
Okay, could you hook that on some kind of a thing that could shoot poo
Through it?
into a
Shoot
male?
pool? Did you say shoot pool?
You said
No.
shoot poo.
Shoot pool. Oh, all right.
Sir, I don't know if I want to help with this. We are having a workshop class for this, though, on Saturday.
Dave, I'm going on break. You
Can
just
I
take care of this guy?
I'm gonna have
got
to talk to a manager then. I'd really need.
I'm going on break. I just told Dave I'm going on break.
I'm the manager. What do we got here? We got a problem?
We're just gonna standard put the poo in the box kind of
What
situation.
kind of project is it? Hey, Jeff, what project is it?
I'm on break, so I can't talk about
It's
it.
really going to come down to the consistency of your poop.
Yeah. How are we getting this poo?
What have you been
through
eating the last couple days?
We going salad or steak? Okay, here we go. The former mates had fallen out as Holroyd
Oh, this is
Doveton.
British.
Oh,
Holroyd
yeah,
Doveton.
I
It's
told
so
you guys
British.
were UK.
Holroyd Doveton.
He had
So the mailbox is on the other side of the road.
Yes.
Okay.
But we're in the house.
They pump their poo on the left.
That's right. And then it goes the other way.
Remember, he did this to Donald Wicks. The former mates had fallen out as Holroyd Doveton thought Mr. Donald Wicks had contributed to his recent divorce and, quote, ruined his life.
Contributed.
How do you contribute?
There were other factors, but he definitely contributed.
I mean, your husband
short of having sex with his wife, there's
or
no real
on a regular basis saying to his wife, "You should leave
this.
Hey, mate, you should get out of it.
Oh, Joffrey's
Get
a
away
wanker.
from him, man.
He's a knob,
Your
isn't
old bat. He's a knob. He's a knob, isn't it?
Marriage should be a lot better, though, shouldn't it?
he? Don't you think a bit?
kind of sad.
We're kind of in a bad marriage, aren't you?
In it, looking kind of sad, are we?
A lot of people have husbands that are nice to them, don't they?
Right, meat pies are rubbish. They're
I like
rubbish.
to shove my meat pie through your mail slot.
Joffrey Dalhoyd Doveton, or Holroyd Doveton.
Holroyd Doveton.
GHD.
The Holroyd Doveton.
GHD traveled more than 160 miles to Rotherham, South Yorkshire, to Mr. Wicks's house.
This is like the astronaut woman who drove in a diaper.
That's almost all of England. Like, you can't get further down the country without falling in the sea.
Were you? M4 with just a whole pocket full of poo.
GHD. So he goes from 160 miles from South Yorkshire to
with the poo
to Mr. Wicks's house in Braintree, Essex.
So he's taking some of that Yorkshire pudding.
Yep.
Right.
On up to Essex.
With the poo he had been storing and then splattered it into the home, causing $5,324 worth of damage.
Okay, I need to rethink the estimate of how much poo it was in my head now.
He pumped
$5,000.
He pumped it.
But he
Brother
also,
be pumping.
But he could have like hit artwork. I don't know. Maybe that's some stained glass that we'll never get back.
It's stained now.
Hell, it ain't.
Stained now.
CCTV recorded Holroyd Doveton outside the property on the night of the offense, or offense as it's written here, on New Year's Day. This was his resolution.
What are you doing for New Year's, Jeff?
GHD was like, I'm cleaning my life up by making somebody else's messy.
Yeah.
There was
pumping poop on New Year's Day.
There was a contributor, a bit of a contribution was made.
Here's my contribution to your house. It's the year of the shit, isn't it? In it?
As part of his sentencing, he'll have to complete 80 hours of unpaid work. The chairman of the bench.
Clean toilets.
The chairman of the bench.
Chairman of the bench sounds like Frank Sinatra's cousin, who like wasn't
Dave
that.
Sinatra.
Yeah, Dave Sinatra is just like, oh, here comes the chairman of the bench.
He's in Branson, and it's a magic comedy musical show.
I'm in a New Haven.
Well, he's also got a rat, like the mouse pack. Like he's got like the
leaning
cousin
on
of
all
Joey
of it.
Bishop.
Yeah.
He's got
Chairman of the bench has the mouse pack.
Michael Davis Jr. and
Chairman of the bench
has no eyes.
Here comes the chairman of the bench.
The chairman of the bench, Michael Cadman, called it a pretty horrific offense. He said,
pretty horrific.
It's almost as bad as I have seen in my 30 years.
It's
as
almost
magistrate."
as bad as he's seen.
Yeah, like what
There
tops
was
this?
another poo.
What was a far
worse?
worse thing? A guy actually literally shit into someone's house.
Lesla Smith, prosecuting, said that Holroyd Doveton had planned the act for some time. He pooed into the
So it's a
container.
premeditated
It's
poo.
premeditated pooing, and according to the
accordance-
Magna Carta,
In accordance with all premeditated poos, that thing was percolating up the M4.
He pooped in the container. I'm going to ask you guys for how long leading up to the incident.
So like, how is he storing?
How much time did he
much
spend
food?
pooping into a container?
This is important. I know you're just putting this forth as a fact, but it's important because your anger either grows or subsides. Like, I can understand in a heated moment, you're like, give me that thing, and I'm going to shit in this thing. But like, you drove 160 miles, and like mile 90.
You made a pump.
he made a pump. Also, like, you know,
Are we talking about pounds of poo is what we're
do you
going
think
to
he had
how
one
much
day
time?
where he like went in the toilet, he's maybe going to throw it away and stop this nonsense,
it.
and then like,
I would say this has been building up for about 4 months.
Ooh,
That's
John
right.
Roy,
Well,
do you want to
also-
go second or third?
4 months.
Take a guess.
It's New Year's Day.
Yeah. So when did it start?
So
On a hot summer's night.
Donald Wicks also lives far away from him. Did he move in the intervening? Like I don't know what you know, but I'm gonna say, boy, I'm gonna make him a little less crazy because. You know, you poo a lot
everything
in a day, right? Think about when you poo
pound a day,
when you poo on an airplane and it doesn't go down and you got to look at it. That's a lot. That's just one.
1 pound a day.
1 pound.
I'm gonna do 2 months. It's still a lot.
Okay.
Still a lot. Jay?
I'm gonna say since Boxing Day. No, I'm gonna say
So 5 days.
5 days. Yeah. I'm gonna say 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
2 weeks.
So Randy says
I said 4 months. Jay says
John
2 weeks.
Roy
You said
says-
2 months.
How do they measure time in England? Is it the metric system?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I converted it.
They're
though.
on the lunar
There's
calendar.
80 seconds
John
to
Royce-
1/4 second.
You said 2 months, John
I said
Roy?
2 months.
And
I
Randy-
said-
Jay, you're saying a fortnight.
I said a fortnight.
a fortnight. All right.
Don't say that word.
All right.
I've heard
How
enough
many
of that.
stone
Yeah,
of
you
poo
have.
was it?
It was about 8 stone of poo. Got a great big fucking poo. There's a
just
guy. There's a
angry.
lighting guy who works for my wife, like a subcontractor. My wife's an interior designer, is a subcontractor. His name is Dell. I think I've talked about him on this maybe
don't know.
before. He's the best because he's just like. The second he comes in the house, like if he's ever like
F-bomb
fixing it,
city.
he just starts cursing nonstop. It's so fucking light. Get this old fucking bitch in there and squirrel it in and then stick their fucking dumb piece of shit out there. It's like, I love him and I just love riling him up. I'm like, man, that really looks like it's not working. Goddamn right it ain't working. Trying to stick this fucking piece of bastard shit out of there.
I think if you have a country that has a class system, once you realize you're in the second one, why not go all the way with it?
Just
Like,
go
like
all
what, who are you impressing?
all
They're
the
not going to
way.
make you a
All right,
fucking
so-
duke. Like, just do it.
I'm the dick.
Here's
You
the-
know your
we're gonna give the answer.
limitations. Okay.
GHD,
Fortnight.
Joffrey Holroyd Dovington. The amount of time he spent holding his poop in a container is, first let me say this. One of you is exactly right. Oh. Now, do you want to guess
Who is
who
right?
do you think is right?
I think we're crazy, and I think it's probably the fortnight.
I think
of
it's.
poo.
I think Jay's right. It's
Yeah,
a
I'm right.
fortnight
Two-
of
if
poo.
you're doing about a pound a day, that he's collecting it for 2
Fortnight of
weeks.
because you would need like an
You would
extra
need, like,
garage.
Yeah.
Okay.
a carport, car park.
Holroyd Dovington.
Holroyd Dovington does sound like the name of like a stuffed animal you get from like a
In the
It's
a giant poo.
It's one of the Build-A-Bear options.
Yes,
like
yes.
he's the British bear.
Holroyd
We'll get you corduroy or Holroyd Dovington.
He had been saving his poop up for
What do you got?
2 months.
Jesus
my
Christ!
God.
I
John Roy.
am horrified that I'm right.
So right.
2 months.
What a
2 months.
Prior to the offense and created
Where?
a pump.
In the house. Where?
Had he committed that much to his wife, they'd still be together.
Well,
It
that's
was-
the thing. He's like, oh, I'm the type of person who creates a shit pump, saves my ship for 2 months, drives 160 miles to spray it into somebody else's house, but they're the reason that
I
my
got my
marriage
wife's-
ended.
yeah.
They're the
There's
problem
your
in my
reason.
life.
What if
There's
this
your
was a
reason.
standard thing to anyone who pissed him off? So the wife had to put up with 3 different poo stories.
No, he created a piss pump for
That's
a
how
month.
that's how he proposed to me.
Oh, I'm sick of. I'm tired of fucking Keith at work. Oh, you're not going to poo. Are you going to do another poo, honey? If you poo again, I'm leaving.
Honey, where's my poo container?
No, you said you never poo. Store again.
It's in the garage.
Mr. Wicks, who was on holiday with his wife
I
at the time.
wasn't there.
No, or
That's
he
almost
was,
worse.
or no, maybe he was on holiday up at that house, so he drove all the way to that part of the
Mr. Wicks, is this the new John Wicks?
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
shits in your house, you just go, now he's on an act
that's
of
right,
revenge?
that's right.
No, then but he just goes and poos in everyone's house. Like he's not a murderer.
It's like an outbreak.
Mr. Wicks, who was on holiday with his wife at the time of the offense, described it as despicable and disgusting and said it had left him anxious and unable to sleep.
I agree.
He said he felt his personal space and home had been invaded. No shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
that's not a
shit.
feeling,
Actually,
dude.
It was.
actually, shit.
yes shit. Yes.
Yeah. It actually completely. You were.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Except no one came in the door. But
So
yeah.
pound a, we got to go back to here a second. Pound a day, 2 a day. No, okay. Pound a day. How many days in 2 months?
Well, we
is
don't know how much-
28,
60 days.
28.
About
We don't
60
know if
days.
he put it
60?
in every time.
We don't know if he put it in every time, and we don't know if he was just doing it a portion of it, but like it could have been over too much.
He was contributing to it.
Just like my friend
I made a deposit at the shit bank.
He said he felt his personal space at home had been invaded.
Of course.
Yeah, there's no feeling. Emily Hughes, defending GHD, said he felt isolated.
That lawyer meeting, you're the public defender. Like, what do you? What's the defense?
You just look. You walk in. You're like, "What do you want me to do here, man?" Because it's on camera. It's on camera of him doing this. It's CCTV of him shooting all the shit into a guy's store.
She's gonna say at least he didn't poo and like it's not indecent. Like he
think of the
didn't do it in
things
public.
he could have done,
Right.
Your Honor.
He could have done so many.
I guess
different
because
things.
of the divorce, GHD had to move from his home in Braintree
to another place.
to Rotherham. Is that how you say it?
Oh, so
And
he
was
had
incredibly
lived there. He left.
He went
and
back to
came
the old neighborhood.
He lost the town in the divorce. Quote, he was incredibly sorry for his actions. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here on this.
Used to be
John Roy, you
my
are a
time.
guest, so you can go first, Tig, or third. How old is Jeffrey Holroyd Doveton?
Too much fun leaves marks in life. Living hard, you'll pay the price. Who is gonna get it right? Guess the age. Guess the age.
The man who creates a shit pump
And
in
puts
a
it
shit
in the
storm.
middle.
You created a shit
He
storm.
really did.
He did.
30.
30 years old from John Roy. Jason or
He's
Randy?
married and divorced, but he still seems
So
pretty.
he got
juvenile.
married young.
Married young. She left him 5 years. The marriage lasted. Now he's shitting in
I
people's
should also
houses.
say that pictures from the aftermath will be posted on the Dumb People Town page. I didn't know if you guys wanted to view just some of like the
boy.
stuff that he did.
Oh man!
I tell tread with caution on this
Just
one.
imagine paintball.
Oh my
Just imagine.
God.
That's a Jackson Pollock.
Imagine paintball, but only Browns.
It's a Jackson Pooplik. I would say I think he's 45, and I think
Randy says 45.
She stuck in that marriage really long, and he never matured in that point, and then he regressed as soon as she left.
Okay. All right. Jason Sklar.
58.
58 from Jason Sklar.
This is the
He's got
end of
nothing
a
left to.
58-year-old
All
man.
right, Jason says 58. Randy says
Sawed it all.
45.
And you said 30.
John Roy
30.
says 30. Okay. This will be our parting fact on this DPT mini. And since you're all listening, let me remind you, on June 24th, Sunday night, 8 o'clock, the Siren Theater, Portland, Oakland.
That's if you're in Portland. If you are in the
Yeah.
2 nights before, if you're in Salt Lake City, come see us at Wise
Oh,
Guys.
heck yeah, do
One of
that
the
too,
greatest
yes.
clubs out there in the biz.
So yeah, come see the
Salt
Sklars, and then jump on a flight Sunday, and
Hop
come
over to
see
Portland.
evenings. The
And
evenings
see this
co-headlining tour.
entire episode.
Yeah. Playing
And,
itself out.
and two
Well,
different.
we like to pump all of our jokes through the mail slot. So here we go.
We just spray them out. All right, here we go.
Is
Ready?
any of us close?
No.
Okay.
No.
Jeffrey Holroyd Doveton is 75 years old.
At least I was heading in the right direction.
Jay,
I know.
that is
Jason Sklar.
a 75-year-old.
That's a man who had a lot of time.
So in my brain, I was like, 45 means he's old. He should know better. 30,
Right.
you're like, you're dumb and you just are whatever. You're
Right.
not acting smart. 45, I'm like, you should know better, but his sort of development was stunted. Jason said 58. He was
Right.
like going in that right direction, but
This
75
is a wise
trumps
man
all.
who has had time.
And by the way, this will be the last act,
Speaking
and
of
I feel
Trumps.
like this should be on his tombstone. This is his legacy, and
Yes.
this is how he should be
it should have
remembered.
like
It says,
brown specks.
don't say it, just spray it.
Eat
Yeah.
shit, Donald Wicks.
Yeah. Goodbye, Donald
So
Wicks.
also though, think about this. That means the wife left him. Like she's stuck in for most of her life and still wanted to
Maybe.
get out of there. It's
Maybe.
like, you know, I'm gonna die away from this fucker.
It's like the Mandela effect. Chris Rock's Mandela bit. He made through prison and divorced his wife afterwards. How bad was that marriage? That's crazy.
That's
That
a
is
mini.
unbelievable. There you go. That's how we do it. Thank you, John Roy.
You're welcome.
And oh shit, we gotta get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.